Well, it is officially time to get this piece of equipment in the shop that I've been kind of dreading, I guess you could say. It's one of them things that I just know, oh, it's windy, snowy, it's blowing. So anyway, this is the tractor, obviously, that needs to go in the shop. The 460. The wind. The 460 needs to go in the shop. It needs multiple things. This wheel is just completely rotting. The tire is cracking, or is cracked really bad. And these are two different size tires. I'm pretty sure they're different width wheels. So I gotta do something about that. They're both filled with fluid, so I wanna figure out if I can get that out somehow. This wheel was patched once, but it's better. So I'm thinking draining the fluid. There's just multiple things that this thing needs. Obviously the hydraulic leak, as you guys seen before. And the biggest thing is, I don't know for sure if it's gonna need an entire overhaul or if it's just gonna need the rings, but two of the cylinders on the engine are, you know, they've checked out. It's pretty much 50 PSI on a compression test, whereas the rest of them are 120. Now, I'm not 100% sure what they're exactly supposed to be. However, if the other four were 120, then I'm guessing the other two should have been too. So the fact that they're 50, and so I need to get it in there. I need to kind of go over everything. I want to drain all the fluids, change the engine oil, all that kind of stuff. You know, maybe I can find a cheap used tire, you know, because ultimately right now with just trying to start out farming, we're kind of working on a budget and tires aren't cheap. So that's kind of that. I think our goal for today is get it started, because I don't know if it's even gonna start with the cold temperatures. It's been like highs in like the teens, so, or maybe 20s, I don't know. So I got to get it started, and then we can get it in the shop where it's warm, and then I'll start disassembling everything and we'll go from there. So the 460 I do want to have, you know, operational to where it's going to be good and sufficient to where I don't have to worry about it this coming year. And you know, the first thing we're going to probably use it for is maybe plowing some stuff, doing something like that, and then hay cutting's right around the corner too after that. So it needs to be reliable to the point where I don't have to worry about anything come that time. Because once that happens to where we're starting to plow, we're starting to work the soil, planting season, hay cutting, you know, it's going to be full chaos, and it's going to all happen at once. Well, I'm going to hop up here, I guess, and see if it's even going to start. I'm not really confident in it. I think the battery's probably dead, you know, kind of like that thing over there. Yep, dead like everything else. Well, there's one thing started. I'm pretty sure the batteries are junk in that. I mean, between everything that I have, all the batteries seem to be junk, and that's a lot of money in batteries. This thing, I'm not sure if it's the battery junk. I think it's a newer battery, so it might be a charging issue, because it did this to me during the summer. It would kind of die, so I'm not sure. Maybe the generator's bad. This charger is not or jump starter, or whatever you want to call it, is not the best. It's old, junky, so it takes twice as long. Could pull the truck up here and throw jumper cables on it. That would do the same thing. Probably be easier. Yeah, let's try that. Jumper cables. See what that does. It is so cold out here. It's running. Needed a little starting fluid to kind of help it. It didn't want to start. Now I'm gonna get it in here in the warm. My hands hurt. It's gonna be a lot nicer tearing into this with better lighting. I can tell you that for sure. So I'm gonna start by taking off all these shrouds. This one's loose as it is. So we'll take all these, basically all the shroud body off, get everything kind of exposed, get the exhaust pipe off. There's no muffler, so. And we're gonna start disassembling some stuff. This is a mess up in here where all your, basically your remotes are, your valves, and you have your adjusters down here, control valves. But the biggest problem is we have that leak in one of these lines that goes underneath the seat. And the problem being, this is a solid line, goes all the way up into this whole control valve manifold. So I'm gonna somehow have to pull this entire thing out, and it's gonna be a mess, I know that. Wiring catastrophe back in here too. So there's a lot of stuff that needs kind of adjusted, but there's definitely some things that need addressed for sure. The engine being one of them, definitely. And you know, some of the other stuff, the fuel gauge doesn't work, it's not hooked up. There's a bunch of little things, but there's also some big things. Bee's nest, anyone? One thing I do want to check and probably do is flush the radiator, get some good coolant in there. We'll clean this out as long as everything's good. But that's another thing that I would like to check. If it's good, it's good. If not, I'd still like to do something about it. Well, I'm guessing that's why it sounds like a weird diesel. Partially, probably because I got so much blow by, but this is like way down in, or that's up in super far, so it's like resonating or echoing in here. I don't know, I have to decide if I want to put a muffler on there or not. I do kind of like the way it sounds, but then other times it's really loud. I don't know. This tractor's starting to look a little strange, a little different. Just so happens that I have a jug sitting right here. Come on, you get off of there. And we'll try to catch it. That might take a little while. Need to take the wire off of the fuel gauge. I gotta figure out what's wrong with that. I don't know exactly why that's doesn't work. I think somebody has had enough of being out in the shop today. Now to pop the tank out of there. It is empty, so that's a plus. Oh, and there's nuts under there. And they're turning. Ding. Come on. I'm not looking forward to this. Ugh. This is almost a two-person job right here. Just a wee bit further. It's getting caught on everything. Definitely looks a little bit different from when we first pulled it in here. Little nest over in here, so that'll have to come out. Tons more to do, tons more to take apart. I'm gonna pop this framing off. Some of this is gonna end up getting new bolts as well, just because some of them are rotted. Like this here, this tie-in frame thing broke. So I gotta take apart a bunch of that stuff. Some of these wires are in really rough shape, so I don't know. I really hate to do a whole wiring harness or redo the wiring on everything, because that would take so much time. I don't know. I have to figure that out. And I have no idea what this is. I think that's oil pressure. And the other thing we got to do is get off for the hydraulic leak that's back there. Take all that back apart. Yeah, and then whatever I got to do with this. I really doubt, judging by the way this looks, that is going to get me through another season. I mean, it's leaking continuously. I'm just waiting for it to blow out. I hate calcium in tires. Hate it. So that's gonna do it for today's video. This will be part one of a many part series. So I hope you guys are enjoying so far. Stick around for the ride because it's definitely gonna be a ride. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.